Hi, my name is Kate. I'm also known as Two Little Kits, and welcome to my FlossTube, which I am very happy to be able to say is now officially 4 years old. Oops. It's now 4 years old. I started my FlossTube, I believe, on the 17th of July 2021, and yeah, it's now officially past that date within 4 years. So that's crazy and amazing. I have a bunch of works in progress to share. I have some things to chat about, so let's get started. I want to start off this FlossTube by saying that I watched the Netflix movie K-pop Demon Hunters with my kids, gosh, almost a week ago now, I'd say, and I still have the songs stuck in my head. I think I'm obsessed with the movie. I've only seen it the one time and I didn't even really watch it properly. I wasn't paying attention very well at the start of the movie, but I just have the song Takedown stuck in my head constantly. If you've watched the movie, let me know if you liked it as well. I thought it had some really good messages for kids, which I'm always a fan of, especially movies that are aimed towards kids. So yeah, if you've watched it, let me know in the comments and let me know what you thought of it. And if the songs are also stuck in your head too, so that I know it's not just me. But anyway, why don't we get started with my finished piece, which is my next pattern. Before I show it, funny story, I actually forgot that my Zodiac series that I'm doing was not due this past Monday, because this past Monday was still Cancer and not Leo. So I didn't actually have to release the pattern. I had it ready, like I was rushing to get it photographed and everything, but I had the cross stitch ready, the test stitch of it, ready to go on the Monday, and then I looked at my calendar and I was like, oh, I have another 2 weeks to do it. So anyway, this is the next Zodiac pattern that will be available next week. It is Zodiac, Leo, well, that's what it will be called. And yeah, it's the 5th in the series. I'm almost halfway through already. I can't believe it. That's just bananas to me, because it feels like I've only done this for a month or two, which is kind of accurate because I did start them at the end of March. Like I started test stitching at the end of March. Let's just wait for the washing machine to finish. What was I saying? Yeah, this will be ready. So I am thankful that I was able to just take a beat and take a breather and release it easier in 2 weeks, well, in 1 week time now. So yeah, you can keep an eye on that. I'll obviously post about it on social media, but yes, it will be available on my website, on my Etsy store, and on my Ko-fi page. So yeah, check it out when it's available. Let's move on to works in progress. I want to share the next Zodiac piece, like the next Zodiac piece that will be coming out. I just this morning finished the actual pattern itself. I've been trying to work on the actual sketch design and then the actual cross stitch pattern for quite a while. It's been really hard to get just right. So I'm pretty happy with where it is now, and I'm kind of like, I need to just say enough is enough and get started and make the tweaks while I'm stitching if I need to. So yeah, I will have overlaid a picture of that, but that's coming. And that one is Zodiac Virgo, and that one will be coming out, I'm just bringing up my calendar, on the 1st of September. So like, I'm way ahead of things. When I started drawing and digitizing, like for the pattern, I still had it in my head that I was releasing Zodiac Leo last Monday. So yeah, I was kind of feeling a bit behind, and now I feel like I've got all the time in the world. But anyway, so that one's coming. The next work in progress is a Stitch People portrait that was commissioned. I had the design for this ready to share last FlossTube, but I I forgot to put it in my notes, so I completely forgot to talk about it. But this is almost done now. As you can see, I'm working on the hair, which if you don't know, I basically do the hair last because it's fiddly and tricky and easy to get wrong. So I kind of need to be in the right mental space to do it. But yeah, I've started it. I've got to just do her hair. Her hair is going to be a ponytail coming down over her shoulder. I also need to do a tiny little bit of hair at this bit. I can't remember what this bit's called, of his head, so that he has some hair poking through. But yeah, I'll be able to send this off before next FlossTube, so I'll just share a video of it in the next episode. But this is a thing, and it was a design 2 weeks ago, so sorry about that. This has been fun to do. I decided, with the permission of my customer, to try and replicate the 2 t-shirts that were in some of the photos that she sent me. This one's like, it's a big graphic t-shirt, and this one is a periodic table, so hopefully that translates. And there's a little white dot. I can't remember what was on it. I think it was like a white star of like yay or something. But yeah, that's a periodic table. Let me know if what you think of it, and if you think it looks cool, and yeah, woohoo. If you would like to commission something like this, I'm always open to taking on commissions like this. There'll be a link in the description of how you can do that. And I'll be able to start stitching Virgo anytime now. I need to get a cut of my fabric so that it matches all of the other ones that are done in the series. Okay, what is next? I have a bag actually looped around my chair, which you can get your own one of. This is my Floss Daily tote bag. I'll put a link in the description for that. But anyway, works in progress. The next one is, it hasn't had much done on it. I don't sit in my car and just sort of wait a lot during summer holidays. And when I am, I have the forethought to bring something to stitch on. So this is my car project. This is Night of the Frost Dragon. I have done a tiny little bit of it. You probably can't even tell, but this line along here has a second red in it, which is this one here. And I've done that. And that's, I think, all I've done. If I didn't last week, I can't remember if I fixed it last week or if I was going to, but I did fix the issue with this and the big line. They were all one square off to the left, so it wasn't sitting right, but I have fixed that. Like I said, I don't remember when I did that, but I did do that. I think it was before last FlossTube. But yeah, this one's covered in cat fur. I'm sure all of my pieces are covered in cat fur. It's just you can see it on this one because it's black. So that's that piece. So I will likely get more work done on that once my kids go back to school, to be quite honest. But anyway, let's leave that one till last because that one's exciting. The next piece is my DIY cross stitch pattern, Flower Meadow, which I am caught up to today as well. That's where we're at. I'm trying to pull it so you can see like a bit better where I'm up to. That's where we're up to. I just did the other day while I was stitching this blue one, I noticed the same one is up here. Oh, Noodle! Noodle's at the door crying because he wants to come in. If he keeps crying, I'll let him in. But that's my flower field. So you can get this for yourself as well if you'd like. And there's also flower field, which you can mix and match the two together if you'd like, because they both follow the same grid and randomness as each other. They just have 20 different flowers and 20 different colors each. So yeah, that's my Flower Meadow, which is awesome that I'm keeping up with it. This one is a future pattern, which I'm hoping actually, and I'm not going to say this outside of my FlossTube. So if you are watching this, then you're getting a sneak peek of what's to come. But I'm hoping to release this piece, this pattern, sorry, along with this one. So next Monday, because this isn't a very difficult piece. It's not complex or anything. Its price point is just going to be $2 instead of my usual $3 or $4. I'm not going to explain what this is because I want it to be a surprise. But I'm really happy with the colors that I've picked. The other main color in this is actually a sort of neon greeny teal kind of color, and I think it's amazing. I really like the colors in this. I spent a bit of time the other day with my floss book and stitchpalettes.com and just figuring out what colors would go well together that would fit the design that I sketched up. So yeah, anyway, I won't go into this much. I won't go into this too much. Sorry for the jumbled, but just know that this makes me laugh, and I hope it makes you laugh and that it makes you want to buy it and stitch it as well. I think it'd be a really good gift to give to somebody. Okay, so my last, hang on, zip's being difficult. There we go. Okay, well, actually no, before my last work in progress, my second last work in progress is a design, because I have finished another cross stitch pattern, which is this one here, but I'll overlay a graphic of what it is. It's going to be called Send Memes, and it's just it's what I like. And I hope that other people like it too. But anyway, so that one's coming. I'm gonna aim to have that one. What will it be? It'll be, hang on, let me look at my calendar. I should put it in my calendar like I do with the Zodiac ones, but I haven't. On the 11th. No, sorry, the 18th. I'm hoping to release it on the 18th. We'll see how things go. So my last work in progress is Extraordinary Birds, and I wanted to save it for last because I finished the frame. Yay! I've been doing a lot of work on this piece. I think about 2 days ago I finished the frame, and I'm super pleased. I've started feature 1, which is a spoonbill bird down here with a flower in this bit here. So you can see the legs of the bird and the beak of the bird and a reflection in the water of it. And then this is the start of a little flower. And then I had to take my kid home from the playground, so I had to stop. But yeah, yay! I feel like I've gotten progress. I even was good and did all the back stitching of the frame, so you can see, like, the main thing you can see are all those lines along the actual bird cage, but there's lines on the head of this bird. Sorry, this is really hard to hold up for the camera, this one. So there's back stitching for the head of that bird and lots of back stitching in the owl as well, which I can hold like that. There we go, now you can see that. And then there's that bird. All right, Noodle. All right, let me let the nudester in, and I assume he's gonna, yep, jump in the box. Yep, so he'll make that crunching noise every now and then. He freaking loves this box, seriously, like, it's the best. Oh, you making biscuits? Oh, those are some big biscuits, mate. Anyway, enough of me gushing about my cat. Oh, and he's having a clean now, and now he's making my camera wobble. Where'd my notes go? There, okay. Let's talk twolittlekits things and Stitchy Things. Just go to sleep. Anyway, Stitchy Things. So I have signed myself up for 2 more stitch alongs. I had to. I couldn't help it. They are then both not starting until August, but I have both of the project bags ready to go with all the floss. I'm waiting on fabric. That's coming in the mail. I should get some fabric on Monday, and then I think some more fabric on Friday, because I got, so anyway, the two stitch alongs are Flossie Fox Shop's Flower Dragon, and the other stitch along is what I already talked about last FlossTube actually, Twigs and Tea. So the Twigs and Tea, I bought the fabric that was recommended to match with the color of the fabric, to match the actual pattern itself. So I got that one, and that one only just shipped like yesterday or something, even though I ordered it 2 weeks ago or whatnot. And then I found another place that had really nice fabric options that wasn't 1 2 3 stitch, because I was just looking for to support small shops. And I know 1 2 3 stitch is small, but like I wanted to support somebody else. So I got 3 sets of 18 count fabric that I want to look at, and I know I'll use them for other projects as well, but I want to look at them based on like an actual visual and the colors that are going to be in the pattern itself. Anyway, so yeah, those 2 stitch alongs are coming. I haven't put them in my calendar of when all their releases are, so I'll want to do that, because I really have liked that. I put them just in like their own calendar label or whatever it's called in Google Calendars. And so like I could see that this Friday, like, because I'm recording this on Sunday the 27th, this past Friday there wasn't an Extraordinary Birds release because I put all of the releases into my calendar. Hopefully that makes sense. And maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. Let me know, am I crazy for doing that kind of thing? Who knows, but it works for me, so that's what matters. I wrote my note, have a few patterns lined up, lots of stitching in my future apparently. Yeah. So I shared my works in progress. There's 7. 2 of them I haven't even started stitching yet. One is not going to take too long, thankfully. That's the one that I didn't want to talk too much about, so I didn't want to spoil things. And you know, one is Flower Meadow, which isn't going to end until the end of the year, and 3 of them are not even my own stuff, and I'm adding 2 more that aren't my own. Anyway, I have a lot of stitching in my future, and it's how I like it. I like to be able to pick up a project based on how I'm feeling, because all projects to me have their own vibe, basically. So for example, my Stitch People portrait that I'm doing, the commission, it has its own vibe right now because I'm up to hair. I have to be in the right frame of mind to do it. So if I want to stitch but I'm not in the right frame of mind to do hair, it means I can do something else. So yeah. And the one that doesn't have a name yet that you're aware of has been really nice because it's just straight lines, and sometimes I just want to do straight lines. So yeah. Moving on to my new blog posts that I've released in the last 2 weeks. I have 4 that I've released, and let's go through them, I guess. The first one is called What Every Stitcher Needs and No, It's Not More Floss. And that one talks about obviously it's going to give it away, so if you want to, just skip ahead. But if you don't want it spoiled, just skip ahead. It's about creating a pocket of space, like physical space, to stitch in. And for me, that is here, like this area, which I did do a little bit of tidying up earlier today, so that's nice, but it is still a mess. But it's my mess. And it's the corner of the couch in our living room downstairs, because I can like curl up, or I can stretch my legs out, or I can take up a bunch of space with paper and floss and everything. So those are my 2 little areas that I have in the house. And obviously I also stitch in the car, I also stitch at the playground, I also stitch in waiting rooms, and yeah, everywhere. But it's nice to have a space or 2 in your house that makes you feel comfortable and in the zone. And that's what that post is about, basically. The next post is called A Personalized Gift in Cross Stitch. I had to do the pun, so I'm sorry about that. But it's just a wrap-up post of a finished piece that I did back in 2023. And it was a pet portrait of 2 kitties called Hans and Pablito. I thought I'd already done a post of this piece, but turns out I hadn't. And yeah, it's a wrap up of that project. I, if you don't know, like to have my projects on my website because it's kind of like its own portfolio that I can talk about the process. I can explain what went wrong or what went right and what happened and interesting tidbits and close-up pictures and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I do that, and I've been catching up with previous pieces that I haven't made posts for. So that's one of them. The next post is how to mount cross stitch on sticky board for a perfect frame. Probably self-explanatory, but basically it's how to get your cross stitch or embroidery piece ready for a frame like this. This is exactly what this is. I'll take it out so you can see. But it's a sticky board. I know some people have feelings about using a sticky board, and I did for a long time too, but they're really handy and so much easier than doing it with pins and everything. But you know, it's a board. And this, I measured this piece of fabric horribly, so please ignore this tiny little bit of fabric at the bottom, but I usually do that much and wrap it. But yeah, I don't know how I managed that. I haven't written the date on this one actually. Let me just do that. I like to write with my test stitches, and when I mount them, I like to write the date of when, well, not the date, the month and year of when I finished it. Okay, so yeah, that's on a board. It was a bendy one for some reason, but it flattens out when you put it in the frame. So that one, yeah, goes through step by step of how I do it. Obviously it's not the only way to do it, but I really like this way because the edges are really flush, because it wraps it around instead of cutting it off flush. Like you get these frayed little bits all along the edges if you just like cut it along the edge of the board. I did that once. I learned the hard way, so I don't recommend that. And the last blog post is my monthly wrap-up post for June for this year. So obviously it's called Monthly Wrap-Up, June 2025. Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that happened. There was lots of finished pieces. I'm just scrolling through the post, that's why I'm looking away. Bunch of finished pieces that I gave out, and that was for the auction that I donated to. There was my cancer pattern, lots of works in progress, and one of them, funnily, and I can't believe I forgot it. I still don't know how I forgot it. I forgot to take a picture of the Court of Crows and its progress at the end of June. So I went back, and thankfully on the 21st of June I took a picture of the whole thing, of where it was. So it's only missing like a tiny bit. It was the second to last release of the stitch along that it's missing, but it's better than, in my opinion, better than nothing. So yeah. And it's got all the blog posts that I released. It's got all the IRL stuff, which is a bunch of things. And yeah, I have no idea if people like those posts, but it's kind of cool to me because it's a way that I can like see what I got up to in the previous month alone. And it's also nice to be able to backlink to it within my own website, which is always a good thing for SEO purposes. So there's that too. So yeah, those are the blog posts I released this past 2 weeks. Haul, because I got some belated birthday presents, which is pretty cool. And another thing, which I will also get. It's in here. Okay, so let's do the birthday presents first, actually. I got this, which was an enamel pin, but I turned it into a needle minder. I didn't do a very good job. Like, look at that. That is janky as. But I'm not going to see the back, so who cares. But isn't that amazing? I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's a little business cat. Doo-doo-doo. So I'll use that at some point. But yeah, my husband got me this, and he's like, I know it's an enamel pin, but I know you like turning enamel pins into needle minders. I'm like, hell yeah. Woo. So yeah, I got that. That's not a very strong one, unfortunately. It's a very thick pin itself, like the circle, not the magnets, but the circle itself is really thick. So the magnets they're not as strong through it. So even if it doesn't hold the needle very well, I will still love it because it still works on here. So anyway, the other thing he got me was not very exciting, but something that I've wanted for a while. It's these little floss drops, because I have some floss over there somewhere that I want to put onto drops so that I can use it easier, I guess. So they're just like that. They kind of see through. So the point is, you put a ring on that bit, you put the floss in that bit, and then the active floss that you're working on, or like stuff that you've cut off and you're not using, you put in this hole. So yeah. And it came with a little bag of other ones. It was like other ones to try, which was pretty cool. And there's heaps of them in here. So like this one's interesting because you can put the card of the floss on it. And then there's a square one of the same thing I got. And another one that you can put the card on. But like, you know, there's just other shapes, and there's another color. That one's weird, but cool. Yeah, I like the idea of this one. You can hook them on, but it would probably just come off. I like the idea of it though. So yeah, there's all that, and this one's like nice. It's just little. I'd want to probably file it down so I could write on that with a Sharpie. But anyway, so the floss drops apparently came from the Needle Hub, and the enamel pin slash now needle minder came from Alum and Ink, and I've gotten a lot of stuff from them. Like all of these are from them, I think. No, I take that back. There's a lot of my enamel pins that I've either kept as enamel pins or changed to needle minders from them, and they gave me a little free sticker as well. So that's them. The other thing that I got that wasn't my birthday stuff was the stitch along for Twigs and Tea. I got the little bundle package. So I got the tiny little needle minder, which is very cute. So that's him. And my little stickers, which I just never know what to do with stickers, but I love them. So those are my stickers. I'll probably put one on my iPad case because I've kind of started putting stickers on my iPad case. And this one, I've just remembered I've also got that sticker, so I might even do that one too. So I got stuff. Soon I'll have fabric, which will be nice. And that is all the stuff that is Stitchy related. The other thing to talk about is IRL things, which isn't a huge amount of stuff, thankfully, because I can see how long I've been talking for. I donated blood again successfully, so hooray! I still have a bruise from it. And apparently my vein was very excited to be there, as the woman put it, and it went all over my clothes. So that was kind of amusing. The cuff wasn't on very tight, so it was slow to donate. I took 7 minutes apparently, and normally I'm like 3.5 minutes, but whatever. So that was good. I was going to be donating this next week, but the next thing to talk about is that my husband is going away next week. We're actually taking him to the airport in about 3 hours, no, not 3 hours, in about 5-ish hours. And he is going to San Francisco for 6 days. So I'm like anxious AF. I don't know why, because I've solo parented before, but it has been a little while, and my kids are like really intense lately. So I have booked in my mum, thank you mum, to video call them tomorrow, I think it is, in the afternoon for us, and it'll be the morning for her, so that I can just like tap out for at least like 30 minutes. And if there's a problem, she just messages me and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? So that'll be good. But yeah, I get the whole bed to myself tonight. I always like starfish in the bed whenever I've got the whole bed to myself. Another thing that happened was I went to the dentist finally. I had to cancel my appointment back in May because of our insurance issues that we had. And then I had to obviously make a phone call to try and book the next one. And that was just like, I hate phone calls. So it took me a long time, but I did finally get there. And it was because I thought I had broken a filling. Turns out I didn't. So yay for that. It was just normal wear and tear. And I needed to get my front tooth because it was like here. That was the problem. I just needed it filed down very slightly. So that was good. But I wanted to bring up that I went to the dentist because I got the weirdest, nicest compliment ever. And it was from the dental hygienist that was about to clean my teeth. He was like just checking before he started cleaning. And he said to me, I've been here for a few months, as in like he had started working at that location for a few months. And I can honestly say that you have the cleanest teeth I have seen since working here. And I was just like, that's so nice to say, because like I don't talk about it very often, but I struggle with my teeth like really bad. I struggle like right now with the fact that they're not perfectly shiny white teeth. I've had a lot of work done. I've had 1 root canal. I've had, I think, 5 or 6 crowns done. I have a missing tooth, which hopefully you can't see, but I have learnt to be okay with it because it happened when I was in my early 20s. And I don't have an implant in it. And I've had a filling in basically every single tooth, like no joke, every tooth. Yeah, to hear that from someone who sees teeth constantly, the fact that I have been working so hard since the start of this year to religiously brush my teeth, not just once, but twice a day, and to floss them at least every other day, if not every day. It was just like, it made my week. I was very happy to hear that. So go me, pat on the back, all that good stuff. And the last thing, and I'm gonna put a photo of this over me. There's like a tiny little bug flying around my office. Anyway, I'm gonna put a photo here because I went to take my daughter to an appointment, and across the street is just some people's houses from the building that she goes to. And there were these huge elk in the front yard of this person's house. And it was the closest I'd ever been to them. And they're just so big. And it was very cool and very like awe-inspiring to see these massive creatures so close. And they weren't even really that close, but they were pretty close. And I just thought it was really cool and I wanted to share. So that's all. But that is everything that I want to chat about. Thank you so much for watching and being here and supporting me and all of that awesome stuff. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're not already. Leave a comment below about the things that I've chatted about. I should have taken notes about what I asked you questions to write about, but I forgot. So even just drop a comment and say, hi, I watched, or something like that. That would be amazing and appreciated. But until next time, I will see you around the internet. Bye.